everybody, it is I, Joe Osborne, and welcome to another edition of G&B Quickies. And I gotta tell you, I am very, very excited because there's a lot going on today as far as the world of sports is concerned, most notably a bunch of sports games, and we have predictions for a few of those games. I have 2 for the NBA, then Ian's coming up next with, I think, 3 for college basketball. So let's get right into the action with the best game of the night. We get the Bucks in Miami, and I like the Bucks to cover the spread in this one. Here's why. The big edge for the Bucks in this one will come on the defensive end. Over the last 10 games, they rank first in both opponent effective field goal percentage and points allowed per 100 possessions. Miami, meanwhile, ranks 25th and 21st in those categories. Expect the Bucks to also have a big advantage at the free throw line. They've been playing clean basketball, ranking first in opponent free throw rate over the last 10 games, while Miami is way down near the bottom of the league at 27th. And the Bucks are in the second game of a back-to-back, a spot where they're 7-1 ATS this season. You might be tempted to fade them after their underwhelming performance versus Charlotte yesterday, but this is a similar situation to last week when they needed overtime to beat the Wizards as a big favorite, then pounded the Raptors the following night. So for those reasons, I like the Bucks to cover the spread and take care of business tonight in Miami. Next up, we're off to Cleveland. We have the Jazz in 10. My best bet for this one is for the total to go over. Let's get into it. Both teams have been shooting the ball pretty good, with the Jazz at 6th in EFG percentage and the Cavs at 10th over the last 10 games. This matches up pretty good with each struggling on the defensive end in this span. They rank 22nd and 24th in points allowed per 100 possessions. Utah's D has been standing out for the wrong reasons, ranking 29th in opponent three-point percentage since the All-Star break, while allowing the 5th most points per game. Utah's been an over machine on the road, with it hitting in 8 of their last 10, with the game seeing an average combined score of 237. Cleveland, meanwhile, is on a profitable overrun at home, with it hitting in 13 of their last 17, with those games seeing an average combined score of 228. So give me the over tonight in Cleveland. That's it for me. But as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!
Hello, friends. I have 3, that's right, 3 college basketball bets for you tonight. Let's not waste any time. We're going to head to the ACC for my first bet of the night. I'm going to take the over 151.5 between NC State and Duke, and here is why. The first thing we always want to look at when handicapping for the total in a basketball game is, of course, pace of play. Duke, 8th in field goal attempts per game, 20th in possessions per game. NC State, 35th in field goal attempts per game and 86th in possessions per game. So that tells me that both teams play a pretty fast-paced. Next thing we want to look at if we're going to bet on an over is for both teams to be better on the offensive side of the court than the defensive side. Duke, 4th in floor percentage in the country, but 43rd in opponent floor percentage. NC State, 87th in floor percentage, but 164th in opponent floor percentage. So we see that it's true for both teams, that they're a little bit better on the offensive side. And then finally, of course, you probably know that these two teams played just 2 weeks ago. The total in that game ended at 154, so just slightly over where the total is set for this game. But keep in mind, Duke only shot 37.7% from the field in that game and only 4 for 17 from beyond the arc. I expect Duke to shoot a lot better tonight. So give me the over 151.5 in the rematch. Next, we're moving on to NC Central. I'm going to take them to cover the spread at home versus Bethune-Cookman. And here is why. NC Central is one of the most significant home and away splits in the country. They're terrible on the road, but they're absolutely dominant at home. They are scoring 9.1 more points per game when playing at home and allowing 15.8 fewer points. They're winning games by an average of 15.6 points when they're playing on their home court. Also, for anyone who likes trends, the Eagles are 7-0 against the spread at home this season, while Bethune-Cookman is 6-10 against the spread on the road. Now watch out for turnovers in this game. They're going to play a role. NC Central is 43rd in steals per defensive play, while Bethune-Cookman is 254th in turnovers per possession. Finally, Just like most games this late in the college basketball season, this is also a rematch from a previous meeting. NC Central crushed the Wildcats in January 86-59. This is especially significant considering how bad they usually are on the road. So if they can beat them by 27 points on the road, I feel very good about them covering the spread at home tonight. And then finally, for my third and final college basketball bet for tonight, I'm going to fade one of the worst teams in the country. I'm going to bet on Grambling State minus 16.5 at home versus Mississippi Valley State. Why? Well, for the most part, it's because the Delta Devils stink. This is a fade of Mississippi Valley State more than anything else. They are probably the third worst team in the country this season, right next to Kennesaw State and Chicago State. They are especially bad on the road. They have an average scoring margin of minus 26.9 on the road this season. On top of just being an overall bad team, Mississippi Valley especially struggles against teams that play a solid interior style of play, and that's exactly what Grambling does. The Tigers are 11th in two-point shot rate, while Mississippi Valley gives up the second most points per game from two-point shots. Grambling also a pretty decent 176th in rebounding rate, while the Delta Devils are all the way down at second last in the country in rebounding. Finally, Grambling's defense is significantly better on their home court. They're 25th in opponent field goal percentage at home, while allowing 12.9 fewer points. It's a big spread tonight, but I don't care. Give me the Tigers minus 16.5. So there you go. Those are my three bets for college basketball tonight. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow with another Guys and Bets Quickies, and then we'll be back with our live show on Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.